Mabuhay! Welcome to the beautiful country of the Philippines.
Land, domestic air and domestic sea travel to and from Metro Manila shall be suspended beginning March 15, 2020 and to end on April 14, 2020.
COVID-19 or pandemic, it really changed the way of how people live and on how the people will survive.
Tourism is known to be a great contributor in our country's economy. That is why tourism is highly affected because of this pandemic. The order to momentarily close tourist spots, hotels, and airports to avoid mass gatherings in order to prevent the spread of virus resulted in jobs to be at risk, as well as the number of tourist arrivals to be decreased. Through the years, our country is averaging 6,675,595 of tourist arrivals coming in from different countries from years 2015 to 2019. And this year, our country experienced a whopping 73% loss in tourist arrivals with just only 1.3 million visitors from January up to July year 2020. Not only the number of tourist arrivals was affected, according to tourist services sectors and accommodation sectors, given that there are travel restrictions and closure of companies, almost all of the companies are expecting a loss of 50% in the revenue for this year only. They also said that it could take up to 10 months for the tourism industry to recover. But since there aren't much progress in developing a vaccine and up to date, most places are still in lockdown, it may take up to years for our country to be fully recovered.
The tourism industry is the biggest industries that have been significantly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. As supported by the World Tourism Organization, our world decided to close up borders, airports, and hotels as well as limit on mass meetings, land, transport, and related service around the world. This situation puts almost 100 million jobs at risk. International tourist arrival decreased by 22% in the first quarter of 2020. The time when the travel restriction and lockdowns began in the most countries during the time, 97 destinations closed their borders in whole or in part to visitors. 65 destinations suspended their international flights in whole, and 39 destinations closed their borders.
Few weeks and months past, the impacts of COVID-19 are not just about the individuals who have gotten it, but also the people who work in other places. So, the travel and tourism sector is the most affected factors, just like in airlines and hotels being closed due to this pandemic. Coping up with the highest restriction put places around the world, like restriction of closing of the flights, cancellation of the vacation, and cancellation of flights. So the low rate of tourists internationally and locally, we all know that traveling is the best part of our lives. But because of the too many restrictions that the people may not enjoy, not only in the Philippines but other countries around the world are experiencing this matter, especially in airports due to cancellation of flights and reduction of stops. Next is the stop reduction on the airline. Hotels and restaurants, many workers are being unemployed due to lack in capacity to provide salary because of the safety and restriction in the workplace.
is no denying that social media really helps and has a big impact on the way how we experience the world around us. A lot of people use social media nowadays, and we all know how powerful that platform is. The benefit is it really helps to catch the attention of the tourists, especially if they plan to find a beautiful place for a vacation. They can book online and for reservation, of course. And with the help of social media, they can see many people share their reviews and lots of recommendation and ideas about the place. More and more people are turning to traditional social network to ask for support when they plan for their upcoming adventure. Travel photo and videos about the place are among the most popular type of content that can be shared online to attract a lot of tourists. And now that we are experiencing this pandemic, it is really important to provide or maintain our strict health safety protocols to ensure the safety of our tourists while they travel. If we are allowed to travel again, it is really good to maintain these habits. Following the health and safety guidelines is primarily to protect our tourists and also the staff to avoid any circumstances. This is what we call our new normal, by using personal protective equipment, cleaning and sanitize, and the physical distancing that refers to the strict maintenance of distance between each person. In today's situation, we need to prioritize our health and safety, but at the same time, enjoy ourselves while traveling.
COVID-19 has really changed the society. As we know, it was just a few months ago, working from home, social distancing, mask, and countries across the globe is on the brink of an economic crash. In the midst of pandemic, we need to adapt the new normal. As human beings, our eagerness to travel is very high. Because of this pandemic, we cannot go outside and travel. But when the lockdown is totally over, we need to adapt the safety and health protocols that the government implements. In connection with that, as we travel again to different places, we need to be careful enough to handle our own safety. As we suggest, the last solution to how tourism will survive is to implement the cashless, paperless, contactless transactions. It is better because we prevent the possible contamination of disease. The benefits of having a contactless transactions in terms of traveling are easier exchange of money, quicker transactions, and shorter queues, and it really convenient. We are in the midst of pandemic, so we need to face the difficulties for us to survive and also for the tourism to survive.
Never stop traveling.
Because the tourism industry
Will always arise in crisis.
But remember, wear your face mask, and wear your face shield.